Hello and welcome to this video on measurement invariance made simple, comparing latent group means in Jamovi. My name is Geiser. I'm an instructor and statistical consultant with QuantFish. In this video, I want to show you a simple way to compare latent means and conduct tests of measurement invariance using the Jamovi software, which allows you to run a multi-group confirmatory factor analysis very easily through point and click. So let's get started and let's see how this works in Jamovi. You can see I already have the software open here on my computer, and the first thing that I will do is load a data file, which you can do by clicking on that symbol here in the upper left hand corner. And so then you can go to open, or you can select a data file that you have already recently used like I did. I already have a data file here called multi-group CFA. And so I'm going to open that data file. And then you can see that I have a grouping variable here, and then I have 4 variables for my factor model. And so now we can get started with a multi-group analysis. On the right-hand side, it's telling me that I should install a newer version of Jamovi. However, I know that my current version works just fine for what I want to show you here. So I'm not going to bother with that right now. So unlike and contrary to what you would or might assume, we're not going to go through the factor analysis option in Jamovi because currently that factor option does not have a multi-group option in it. So you can't run a multi-group analysis or measurement invariance tests by using the confirmatory factor analysis option here. Rather, you need to go via the SEM module, which entails confirmatory factor analysis as a special case and also has options for multi-group analysis. So you can do group comparisons of latent factor means using the SEM option. If you don't see the SEM option here in your menu bar, you can go to modules on the right hand side and you can add that SEM module from the library. So let's go to SEM, and then we're going to go via the interactive SEM module, which is point and click, so that's more convenient. The syntax module would require you to write code, so we don't want to do that. We're going to go via the interactive module. And so you can see then that on the left-hand side, we have our input screen. We can define our factors. On the right-hand side, we will get our output. And we're not going to have any endogenous variables because we're going to run a confirmatory factor model where all variables are exogenous. So the factors can be correlated, but there will be no direct effects among factors. So we're going to select our first exogenous factor. We're going to call this F1. We're going to drag 2 indicators for this factor here. And so then we have our first factor, and then we're going to add a second factor here. I'm going to call this F2. And I'm going to use Y3 and Y4 as indicators of the second factor. And then you can see this has a multi-group analysis factor option down below, which we can use by clicking here on our grouping variable and moving that over to the multi-group analysis factor. After a moment, the output appears on the right-hand side. You can see, first of all, a table with a summary of some technical information. We have maximum likelihood here as the estimation method. There were 385 cases. Here are the number of parameters of our model. We're using conventional standard errors right now in this analysis, and you can see the model equations here as well. Next is a table with fit statistics, specifically the chi-square for our user model and the chi-square for a baseline independence model. You can see our user model has a very small chi-square value of 0.229, 2 degrees of freedom, and a p-value of 0.89, so the model is not rejected. However, we don't even know what model that is. So what is the default multi-group measurement invariance model that Jamovi specifies. For that, we should go down and take a look at the estimates. And so here you can see that the estimates of the measurement model, which are the loadings, show that group 1, which is shown on in the upper half of that table, here the factor loadings are different from the factor loadings in the second group, at least the ones that are not fixed to 1. So the first and the third variable have a loading fixed to 1 for identification, and that's the case in both groups. However, the other loadings of y2 and y4 are estimated to different values across groups. And you can see further when you look at the variances and error variances as well as the intercepts that those are also different across groups. So what Jamovi fits as the default model is a configural measurement invariance model where all parameters are allowed to differ across groups except the loadings that are fixed for identification. Also in this model, intercepts for the latent variables f1 and f2 are fixed at 0 in both groups, and these are actually the means. So since those are exogenous factors, the latent variable intercepts are equal to their means. And so you can see in the configural model, means have to be fixed to 0. Latent means cannot be identified because we're estimating all intercepts freely and we're estimating all loadings freely. So, but at least this first model is important to look at because it shouldn't be rejected. If this model already doesn't fit well, then it wouldn't make sense to test measurement invariance because that could only fit worse. So it's a good idea to fit the configural model first, check the fit statistics, and then if this model has a decent fit, then you can proceed to tests of measurement invariance. You can see here the user model is not rejected, and also it has very good SRMR, RMSEA, and CFI, TLI values. All those fit statistics also look good, indicating that the configural model is a good model. So next then, we would test measurement invariance, and the first model that we typically test is a model with equal loadings. We call that model a weak or metric invariance model. And so how is that tested? How can you test that in Jamovi? For that, you have to go back to the left-hand side to the input screen, and you have to go down to multi-group analysis. And then you select equality constraints loadings. So then this is the weak or metric invariance model where only the loadings will be constrained. So let's take a look at how that model fits the data. So when we go over here, you can see that now the output is being adjusted by Jamovi. And so now you can see we get a different chi-square of 1.46 with 4 degrees of freedom, a p-value that still looks good at 0.834. So this model also is not rejected. You can see the equality constraints that are here in the table for those loading parameters, and you can also see those equality constraints do not lead to significant chi-square values, not univariate as univariate tests or multivariate test. So this is also acceptable. And then when you go down, you can verify that the loadings are now constrained equal. As you can see here, the loading of y2 is now 0.814 in both groups. The loading of y4 is 0.74 in both groups. So now we have a model with equal loadings, intercepts and error variances are still unconstrained. So then the next model that we would test would be a scalar or strong invariance model where we constrain the intercepts also. So let's take a look at that model as well. Looking at the chi-square for the scalar model, we now have 6 degrees of freedom and the chi-square is 3.81. The p-value is still non-significant at 0.703. So also the scalar or strong invariance model is not rejected. You can see here the additional constraints now in the constraint score tests table. And so we can again look at the chi-square tests for all these individual constraints. None of these tests is significant, indicating that none of these constraints is at odds or rejected by the data. So all of them are acceptable. we now have equal loadings and equal intercepts. When you go to the intercepts table, you can verify that the 4 intercepts are now also equal across groups. And as a result, we can now identify latent means in group 2. You can see the latent means are now estimated in group 2. In group 1, they are still fixed at 0, so group 1 serves as the comparison group. And now we can look at whether the means are larger or smaller than in group 1 by looking at F1 and F2 in group 2. You can see F1 in group 2 has a mean of 0.869. So group 2 has a higher mean on factor 1, and it's a significantly higher mean, which you can see from the confidence interval, which does not include 0, and also you can see that from the p-value at the very end of the table that shows that this mean is significantly different from 0, which means it's different from the group 1 mean, which is 0. The second mean is lower in group 2 at negative 0.286. However, this is not a significant difference, as you can see from the confidence interval, which in this case does include 0. And also you can see that from the p-value at the end, which is 0.151 and not significant at the 0.05 level. So that's how you can do mean comparisons easily in Jamovi. You have to first of all test whether the strong invariance model fits your data adequately, which in this case it does. And then you can look at the intercepts table where you find the latent means, and those means are always then compared relative to group 1. So you can find out whether the group means differ and which group mean differs. You can also do an overall test of the group means by clicking on means here on the left hand side. So then this fits in this case a strong invariance model in which both group means are set to 0 to test whether they are both equal across groups. So let's take a look at that as well. And so now you can see that here we have a chi-square for a model with equal latent means, and this is not acceptable. So that chi-square is significant. The p-value is 0.005. You can see at the bottom that constraint is significant, at least for one of the two means, presumably the first mean, because we already saw that F1 had a significantly different mean across groups. So this is a significant score statistic here. And so when we go down to the bottom, we can see now both means have been constrained to be 0 in both groups, so that we have again a model with equal means, and that is rejected. So there is a mean difference, at least with regard to the first mean. What you can also do here is you can also test for residual variance equality. So you can test a model of strict invariance. You can test latent variances and latent covariances for equivalence as well. However, that's typically not of interest. So usually we are more interested in the loadings, intercepts, and latent means. I hope you found this video useful to learn how to easily test measurement invariance and latent means in Jamovi. My name is Geiser. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.